In the last 24 hours, we have seen Bitcoin experience some extreme volatility with some crazy wicks. In this video, we're going to jump down into the technical analysis of Bitcoin, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out, guys. You're missing a trick. It's the first place that we go to notify you of everything that's going on in the crypto space. So keep a finger on the pulse of crypto by joining us down in Discord. I will be covering a couple of things in this video. We'll be taking a look at smart money concepts, and we'll also be taking a look at Elliott Wave theory. If any of these are unusual to you, check out Cheeky School, linked in the description down below. At cheekyschool.com, we have put together several different courses for different kind of subjects, everything from Elliott Wave theory through to smart money concepts, risk management, and portfolio building, all that kind of usual stuff. So check that out if that's of interest to you. And if you're looking for more from the crypto space, why not check out the Patreon services or even become a member here on YouTube by clicking the join button down below. We actually offer a lot more for our members than we do on the kind of just a regular kind of Discord side or on the regular kind of YouTube video side of things. So why not check that out if you're looking for just that little bit more from the crypto space. Let's jump right down into this one though. We're going to start things off by taking a look at this one. This is the one that we drew up yesterday, and although we've hit both the targets that I was talking about, it really is an unusual one because it does actually create an invalidation of what I was counting, even though we hit the targets. Okay, so we hit the targets even though we had that invalidation. So I'm going to remove this one here. Okay, and we can kind of see that what we've done is we kind of had this crazy wick pushed down, and then we pushed up, and it's this wick here that actually created the invalidation of our third wave to the downside. Okay, so we go 1, 2, we then move all the way down, and this is fine. So we hit wave 3, and then we went up and we crossed wave 1. Okay, this only happens in a diagonal pattern, and although this actually does meet the requirements of a diagonal, it would be a very unusual place to have the diagonal. So it would mean that we've either made mistakes up this side, and actually our starting position is here, and we actually now go down into the diagonal at this point. Okay, or alternatively, all of this is all corrective nonetheless, and you know, it is what it is. Now I would say, yeah, it could be a diagonal, and we probably have to start it here because this is a part of a fifth wave movement, and under this potential structure, I would say we're potentially done, but we will be looking for just that fraction more, I think, to the downside to get into this yellow box. But we'll go into taking a look at what this might mean in this video. So let's go ahead and just tidy this out for a second here. Okay, I'm just going to remove the trend lines. They're not really necessary. Just for visuals, really. I'll also remove the A, B, C, D, E, get rid of those, so we can kind of just see this clear kind of picture. Now, for the most part, we think about this move here being our start position, but I think it's actually over here that's our start position, and this might have to be some kind of flat correction that's kind of getting us into this strange position. That being said, by the looks of it, it does look like we have the diagonal, so it would be something to this effect: 1, 2, 3, up here for 4, and down here to 5. And under this, I would say it is an expanding diagonal, because it does kind of breach outside of the norm of what you would normally expect to see. Okay, and then, you know, we have actually kind of met the requirements for the wave 5 already, even though it would typically go deeper. It's not a necessity, and we can see that we would have just kind of come into this yellow box area if we were to kind of complete it. So it's still possible that we do just drop down that one more time, just into this little yellow box area, which is between 21,555 and 21,808. We'd have to come into the higher range just on the tip of that one. Now, I do want to just do some sense checks by taking this one over here, and we can kind of see that we got very, very close to that 1.236. We're just not quite there yet. So it looks like we probably just have that little fraction more to the downside, get into that, probably on the higher side of 21,800. And then we'll be kind of done with this move to the downside, which then essentially means we'll have completed this 5-wave structure, and we can then start talking about that next 3-wave structure to the upside. So now I know I say 3 waves, it doesn't have to be. It can start with a 5, and then we could see 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, or 5, 3, 5. But The probability after completing 5 is that we'll have 3. So it could be zigzag 535 or 333 or 335. It could be a lot of different things, but we know it should be 3 waves regardless. So we'll be keeping an eye on that, unless of course this is the end of structure, which it could be, but I'm not thinking that just yet. A bit too soon to really know for sure. Okay, so if our wave 4 ends over here and we have this diagonal ending on this side, it'll be really interesting. Now the only other way of looking at this is to have that peak as our wave 4, and we have a wave 1 situation coming in down here. Our wave 2 situation is here, and our wave 4, wave 3, wave 3 would have to be here. Wave 4 would still be up there, and we can come down like this. So it's still possible that this is a diagonal at this level, so I'm not overly too concerned about where we kind of have the wave 4 peak. I'll leave it like that because it is neat and tidy. Still would be an expanding diagonal as I would see it, and therefore the 5th wave should be a little bit longer. Yeah, it needs to be a little bit longer. It needs to be the longest under an expanding, so we'll keep an eye on that. But for the most part, Elliott wave theory is telling us we've got a fraction more to the downside, and then we have reversal. Now that's also seen and noted on the stochastic RSI. Over here, we can see that we're oversold on the daily, 8-hour, 4-hourly, and coming down to oversold on the 1-hourly. So a long position is highly probable here. I think we should be kind of thinking about moving up in terms of price. And I reckon we're going to see a price move upwards of significance as well. Okay, so understanding that yes, today is probably going to see a little bit of volatility, but my expectation is that we actually go up higher before we come down lower. Okay, now how high do I think things are going to go? Well, I think they're going to go reasonably high, and I think we can get a good bead on that by using smart money concepts. Okay, so in here we can see that we're in our range in market that we were talking about yesterday. We got the breakdown of this. We've created a new break of structure right in here. This is actually more of a CTS continuation of the trend. So we had the change of characteristic to bearish. We had confirmation that we were bearish, and then we got a second confirmation we're bearish, right? Even though the moon boys want to say that you're going to the moon here, on this hourly chart, we have to acknowledge what's right in front of us, and that is a bearish state of play. Now, as we kind of come up a little bit higher, or into these kind of recent moves to the downside here, we can see that we breached that ranging market that we were just trading sideways. We breached a new low, creating a break of structure to the downside. We have a new discount. This discounted range at the bottom here is also a weak low with that strong high still in play. Okay, so we're still expecting a little bit further to the downside. You can see that we did leave behind a fair value gap. This imbalance in the order books, we're yet to push up into this one. Will come eventually. We'll push up into that range. It's not a problem. 22,000 towards 22,108 approximately. Our existing low down here is at 21,840. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how we kind of get that in. Just looking for a few more dollars lower than that really to kind of finish off those waves that we were talking about earlier. Ultimately, our structure is very, very clear. We do not really have internal buying order blocks, but there are some internal selling order blocks. We can kind of see those in here on this hourly chart. And we can also see up here, we have that slightly higher range. And this one comes in at 24,000, right? So we can kind of see that now. For the most part, looking at everything that is going on, we kind of have this kind of 5-wave structure, right? As I was saying with Elliott wave theory, right? We kind of have this structured move like this, right? And it's an interesting one. Now, with this, I think we have to kind of consider it's either an ending position or it's the beginning of a position. We don't know which just yet. Probability says that it's probably going to be an ending position, as you can kind of see here with this, meaning that all of this is fair play for a little bit of a move to the upside. Okay, we're not trending down as far as I can see. So under that premise, we can see any of these order blocks here as probable areas for retracement. Now, if we were to kind of get up to the highs of around 23.5 through to around 23,800, and then just start really moving down rapidly, then this would actually give me the idea that we're actually in a 5-3-5 pattern, or maybe even a 5-3-5-3-5, which is the impulsive trend to the downside and not that bigger ABC structure. Ultimately, I think there's still the possibility of pushing up into $24,000, but in doing so, we have to break break all of these change of characters, these break of structures that we've seen to the downside. Not overly problematic, but we have to bear in mind that it's going to take a fair amount to try to break those. But that being said, it is definitely possible, and we do have the momentum behind the price action. All in all, though, I am still bearish on a macro scale. We cannot ignore what is going on the bigger macro piece. We are overbought. We're just trying to actually come down from this overbought area on the weekly. We have the big bearish situations occurring on that weekly time frame. We don't want to ignore those. Essentially, we are looking at some key areas. I am looking for a new lower low on Bitcoin. This is mainly because whales have been selling to retail investors, and well, that's not sustainable. Retail investors cannot push the market up into new all-time highs. What you need is smart money. You need basically institutional funds to help soak up a lot of that supply of BTC. And in order for that to happen, we need to see price come down cheaper. So they've only been selling. They were selling at the November lows. They were selling at the June lows. They haven't got to a price that they are happy to pay for it yet. So until price moves down to those lows, I'm not expecting institutional funds to come in and basically soak up that excess Bitcoin. So a new lower low is kind of where I'm thinking. And it's anywhere really between 11,600 and 13,900 at the moment. But we could see a potential 10K Bitcoin under a WXYXZ structure with a Z wave going down as low as $10,000. I did speak about that yesterday, so check yesterday's video out if that's of interest to you. But ultimately, where we sit right now is that we are looking to kind of finish off our fifth wave lows. We're looking for some long positions. We can see that in both of the Elliott wave theory kind of chart analysis and the smart money concepts analysis. Although the smart money concepts tells us that we probably have a lot further to go to the downside because we've had this break of structure down here at the bottom. However, the internal counts of the wicks and the candlesticks would actually tell me that we probably actually only have a small drop down lower before we actually move on up. Although it's not overly clear how low we could go on a smart money concepts point of view. I will say that normally when you get these break of structures, you do normally bounce up a little bit. But that being said, we have clearly been rejected from equilibrium on smart money concepts, and we have tumbled down from there. So expect price to be quite volatile today. I would expect price to come down just a fraction and then start moving up a lot more than maybe a lot of people would be expecting as they start to layer in their short positions. Ultimately, smart money concepts coupled with Elliott wave theory gives us an idea that the market is going to be reasonably volatile with that move to the downside and then to the upside. I'm going to leave the video right there. If you found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. If you're looking for more, why not check out the memberships by the join button down below or over on Patreon. They will be amazed how open the Discord becomes once you actually do become a member. There's so much more to offer there. But don't take my word for it. Go and ask some of our Patreon members down in the Discord server, linked in the description below. Until the next one, though, guys, have a fantastic day.